Okay. All right, first thing a miner's got to do is that you got to get coal on the ground. When you come in here at daylight, you got to get coal on the ground to get paid. And this is what he had to do. This is how he did it. He'd take his pickaxe and he'd come over here and lay down on the ground, on the bottom, and he'd start digging from the coal rib on the right to the left, about 10 foot wide, and he's going to dig a trench underneath that coal seam, or what we call an undercut. That undercut underneath the coal seam has to be 4 feet, so it's about the length of this handle and that much of my arm is how deep it has to go underneath that coal seam. Because when you shoot coal, coal has to have a place to land. If you don't, then you're going to be using this pickaxe to pick it later, and it's going to be even harder. So once he gets these 4 foot undercut, he takes this breast auger and he drills holes, because you got to put holes in it because you're going to shoot the coal. Drill steel is 4 feet, so he's going to drill 3 4-foot holes in the coal seam. The way it works, put it in a coal seam, get down on your hands and knees and put your stomach up against it, and you start cranking it and pushing it. And you're going to drill a hole. And you're going to drill 3. One on the right, one on the left, and one in the center. Once you got your 4-foot holes drilled and you got your undercut, now you got to load it up with powder. So they take black powder and put it in a bag and essentially make 3 sticks of dynamite. They take a stick of that powder and put it in each hole. And then they would take this rod and push that powder all the way into the back of the 4-foot hole. Then, when you do that, you have to put something in front of that powder to keep it in the hole when it shoots, so it will blow the coal up. Because if you don't, it'll blow it out the hole like a bullet coming out of a gun, and you'd have to do it again because it wouldn't blow anything up. So they would take mud off the bottom and put about 4 or 5 inches of mud in each hole. And then they would take this needle and put it in this groove and take the tamping rod and the needle and tamp the mud back in the hole up against the powder. When he got it against the powder, he would take the needle and push a hole through that mud, puncturing the bag of powder, creating an airway. When he did that, now he had to put his fuse in it, which was going to ignite the powder. The fuse is what they call a squib. It's like a bottle rocket. You light one end of it and fire shoots out of the other end of it. So, he would put the squib just inside of each hole. Then he would come over here, he would look up and down the track to make sure nobody was coming, and then he would warn everyone. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Then he would come over there, take his cap light, his carbide, light the ends of those squibs, and then he'd run either that way or this way, because in about 25 or 30 seconds there was going to be an explosion. And when it would go off and the fire would shoot out the back of that squib into that hole and hit the powder, boom! He's got 4 foot of coal on the ground now. Now the work starts. Bring one of those empty cars up there, 1-ton cars, bring it down here and push it in here. Put it up against the coal, drop the back of it down, get up in it, start raking coal in it. And when he couldn't rake any more coal in it, he would take his shovel and finish loading it. And that's what he did. He had to get 10 ton, so if he's getting 4 ton per shot, so he's going to have to shoot 3 times that day. And back in those days, the law allowed that if a miner had children over the age of 12, that they could bring them underground with him to load coal. And a lot of them did. Just extra money. And then everything started changing. When electricity and machines started coming into the mines, things changed. The mindset was more production, less manpower. And that's what machines were designed to do. This machine was one of the first ones to come in, this punching machine. And it was brought in here to do the undercut. No more having the guy lay on his side with the pickaxe and dig a 4 foot hole underneath that. That's what this machine here was for. And then other machines came in that changed the way. Now I'm going to take you down this next spot down here, and I'm going to show you some other machines that changed. All right. More machines, less manpower, more production. This machine right here, this Goodman cutting machine, came in the mines in about 1940. The reason why that's so significant is that up until 1940, this mine, in the 20 years that it was mined over 6 miles deep, 4 foot at a time, meaning that 4 foot cuts were all they could take up until the 1940s. This machine now, the bar on the front of it is 8 foot long, so that means the undercut now will go 8 foot instead of 4. So essentially, instead of getting 4 ton on your shots, you're going to get 8 tons. So you've doubled production. That's what they were looking for. Less manpower, more production. Then they came in with the electric drill. With the electric drill to drill the holes to put the powder in now, it had to drill 8 foot holes. Being electric, it could probably drill 8 foot holes quicker than it took a man to drill 3 with a breast auger. So that was what they were looking for. And it just went on and on and on. When I went in the mines in 1972, we were still using cutting machines. Only the machine at that time had rubber tires on it, and we could tram it to where we wanted to use it. The benefits, though, were that the coal cuts went from 10 foot by 8 foot to the bar was now 18 feet, and the cuts were 20 foot wide. So more production, less manpower. They have machines in the mine today called continuous mining machines that they run with remote control. It's like you taking a pad and playing a game with it. You can run the machine and it can be down in front of you and never have to get around it until you move it. But that's the way that they did it. Now, I told you this mine was 6 miles deep. This is what they used to go in and out of the mine. This little scooter right here, they developed because you'd either, 3 ways to get in the mine. You either crawled, walked, duck walked, or you got to say 4. You could catch a ride with the empties going in, or use this thing. And they put their bucket right here, get down on this thing, take their foot, push. So you had 2 rails, and be a guy on each side could use these things to go into the mine instead of having to walk or crawl. You can buy these at Walmart today. They call them skateboards.
Oh yeah, skateboards.
One other thing, this machine right here is a roof bolter. This was one of the first roof bolters that was brought into the mines, because the roof bolts is what holds the top up for us, that protects us when we're in these voids where we take the coal out. The way this thing works is that you're going to drill, put a bolt in, push this thing up against the top, and you turn it, hit the knob, and start spinning it. And when it starts spinning it, it'll cut a hole in the rock to the length of the bolt or the drill steel you're using. Once you got your hole drilled, then they would use a bolt like this. It's called an expansion chuck bolt. You put this chuck on the end of it, put one of these bearing plates down here, stick it into the hole, then take a wrench and tighten it, and it looks just like these right here.
Why do some of them have nails on it?
That was for curtain and stuff that they would hang. But this is what anchors it into the top, this little thing right here. This bolt has 6 inches of threads on top of it. When you start tightening it up in the hole, that nut will come down those threads and spread these little fingers. And those fingers spread out into the hole and anchors it in the hole. And that's how it stays there. Then in the mid-70s, they came up with these bolts. These bolts are called glue bolts or resin bolts. Same process, different application. Drill a hole, put your glue in the hole. Take this bolt, put it on the end of that glue, shove it up in the hole, and you spin it for about 30 seconds. It breaks that glue up, it mixes it up. After 30 seconds, you stop it, wait 10 seconds, drop the head down, and that bolt will be there long after we're gone. And that's what they use today. Different sizes and different applications. All right, guys, that's my tour.
What about the dinner hole?
The what? The dinner hole? The dinner hole came about in about the mid-70s. That was just a place where miners could go from the working face back away from the noise and the dust to be able to eat. Prior to that, everybody took their bucket to the machine that they were working on or the place they were working on. But that's the way they did it. Well, guys, thanks for coming in.
That's the shortest hole I've ever been to.
And now I'm going to get you back outside and let you go see Homer Hickam.
Wait, stop.